Hey, how y'all doing out there? I'm back with you with another video. Today I'd like to do my comparison between the Blu G90 Pro and the TCL 10L. Now, both of these devices were released in 2020, and both of these phones are budget devices. So you're going to get a reasonably priced device with both. Both also are GSM only. And like I said before, both are reasonably priced. I found this on Amazon, the TCL, for $185. You'll probably be able to get the Blu G90 for like $220 or maybe less between Amazon and eBay. So they're both reasonably priced, especially if you're looking for, you're in the market for a budget device. You don't need flagship. You don't need all the, top of the specs, top of the line, and all the super features. You don't need all that. Then you might want to check both of these phones out. But I'm going to compare the two, and then you decide which one you think is best. Now, I already know which one I would choose, and I'll let you know that at the end of the video. All right, so let's get started. Let's start with design. So we're going to start with the G90 Pro first. I'll take the case off so you can see. For those that didn't see my real review, this is the design of the G90 Pro, and it's beautiful with that purple haze. Love this design. So if I had to pick which design I like best, definitely the G90 Pro, definitely. I love the design of this phone. All right. Something I forgot to do, let me turn down the brightness so it's not too bright for the camera. Most of the time I forget that because I keep everything on super brightness. Let me see, turn it down some more. All right, that should be, okay, that's a little bit better. All right. Now, when it comes to the TCL, it's not a bad design, but I mean, it's just pretty, it's not bad, but it's just kind of, it's all right. You got the cameras going across the back as opposed to the G90 with the cameras going down the middle. So it's not a bad design. I mean, I like both, but if I had to choose which one I like better, I would definitely go with the G90 for me. All right, so let me turn this brightness down a little bit. All right. So when it comes to design, I like the design of the G90 Pro better. All right, next thing, build quality. Now the build quality on both of these are really good. The G90 Pro, however, is going to be a little more slippery, but the build quality on both is excellent. Both the G90 Pro, however, has a glass back, and the TCL has a complete plastic frame and a plastic back. So you got a glass back, plastic frame, but you got an all plastic frame and back with this one. But the build quality is good on both. I think you'll like, the build quality on both. And you don't have to worry about shattering it. All right? All right, next thing, with the G90 Pro, you're getting a 6.5-inch IPS LCD Full HD Plus display with a resolution of 1080 by 2340, 83.1 screen-to-body ratio with a 396 pixel density, okay? Now, with the TCL, you get a 6.5-inch 1080p IPS LCD display with a 85.4% screen-to-body ratio, 395 pixels per square inch. No full HD resolution, though. So you're getting full HD with the G90. You're only getting HD plus resolution with the TCL, not full HD, all right? Now, which display I think is better? Now, both of them are pretty similar because they're both IPS LCD displays. Now, I don't like IPS LCD displays. I prefer AMOLED or either OLED. But if I had to choose between the two, now they both got a decent looking display. I'll put them back, both up so you can see. Both of them have a really nice looking display. Get back to the home page. But if I had to choose, I would have to go with the G90. I think it just has a little bit better display in my opinion, especially when I'm viewing movies and content. It just looks better on the G90 for me. Like I said, the TCL doesn't look bad at all, but I would prefer the way that the G90 Pro display looks a little better. And also, now, when it comes to another part of this, now, I prefer this display better because it has a punch hole camera in the corner. You can't see it right now because of the wallpaper. And this one has a dip. What you call it, a notch, a teardrop notch, which I hate. Let me see if I can put it back, because I took it off yesterday. I was playing with it. Let me put it back on there. Go into display. Let me see if that comes up. Where did I find it? Screen color mode, on screen, switch display area. There it is. Okay, so I'll put the notch back on there so you can see it. See that? I don't like that. that just ruins the display for me, because I don't like that. Now, it's implemented well, but it just wasn't necessary. Like, I would just prefer a bezel up there and it goes straight across, as opposed to that. I just don't like that look. It just messes up the symmetry of the device, in my opinion. Give me this with the little punch hole in the corner. See, because then at least the whole top, you got a really thin bezel. So I'd rather have this far as the display overall, far as, you know, the symmetry of it. Now this one, I like the display better overall, but I don't like that notch. But like I just showed you, can get rid of it, you know, just by going into the settings and changing it. Now the only thing that's bad about that is when, now it eliminates it in all the apps that I've tried, which is good. But what part do y'all think that it doesn't hide it? And the part that's most important to me is when I'm watching a movie. Like, I don't want to see that when I'm trying to watch media content. I want it to be gone, but that's the only time when it never goes away, and I absolutely hate that. I just hate it, okay? Now, let me show you. Let me show you real quick if I still got something. Okay. See it right there? Can't get rid of it when you're watching a movie. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Now, you could eventually get used to it, I guess. But for me, no. I don't like that. So that kind of ruins it for me as far as the display. But, you know, if you don't want to see it throughout the rest of the UI, you can get rid of it. There's an option. All right. And keep in mind, full HD plus, just HD. Just HD plus. All right. Next thing. Both have Android 10 and both are upgradable to Android 11. Next thing. With the G90 Pro, you're getting the MediaTek MT6785 Hilo G90T. That's their, I guess that's their own chipset, I guess. And with the TCL, you're getting the Snapdragon 665 with the Adreno 610 GPU. Now, when it comes to performance on both of these, I believe the G90 Pro, just based on my experience, performs better. It's so fast and so silky smooth. Blu did a really good job with the performance of this device for it to be a budget device. They really did. I'm very impressed. Now, TCL is not bad, but sometimes I get little stutters when I'm trying to go back and forth and doing certain things. I get stutter. I don't want to call it lag, but definitely is not as smooth as the G90 Pro. So when it comes to performance, the G90 Pro wins for me. Next thing, the G90 Pro has an octa-core processor. The TCL has an octa-core processor. Next, the G90 Pro has the Google Feed. The TCL has a Google Feed. All you do is swipe to the left. There you go, Google Feed on both, which a lot of people are going to like. Next, the G90 Pro has expandable memory up to 128 gigs. The TCL has expandable memory up to 256 gigs. So if it's about expandable memory and you need more, then you want to go to TCL, because this only expands up to 126. Next thing, the G90 Pro has 128 gigs of internal storage. The TCL has 64 gigs of internal storage. Now, there is a TCL does make 128 gig variant, but this one is a 64 gig. So you can get 128 gig variant and plus add a 256 gig micro SD card to this phone and have a lot more memory than you would with the G90 Pro, if that matters to you. Next thing, G90 Pro has 4 gigs of RAM. The TCL has 6 gigs of RAM. So you get more RAM on the TCL. And for some people, that matters, especially people that are gamers or people that want to multitask. The more RAM, the better. Next thing, G90 Pro has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. The TCL has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So that's really good for those people that prefer a wired connection as opposed to Bluetooth. Next thing, the G90 Pro has 10 watt fast wireless charging. The TCL does not have wireless charging at all. So if wireless charging matters to you and you want it, you're going to get that on the G90 Pro. Next thing, the G90 Pro has a 5,100 milliamp battery and has great battery life. You're going to get 3 days of battery life out of this phone. I mean, that's how much battery life that I've gotten. I know it's subjective depending on how you use your phone, but for me, I've gotten 3 days of battery life out of this phone using a heavy. With the TCL, you're getting a 4,000 milliamp battery, and I've gotten 2 days. So if you want more battery, you want the G90 Pro. You're going to get 3 days, or I say 2.5 to 3 days, and you'll get 2 days with the TCL because both of them have great battery life. Next thing, the G90 Pro has one down-firing speaker. TCL also has one down-firing speaker. Which one sounds better? The G90 Pro speakers sound a little bit better, is a little bit louder to me. However, the TCL doesn't sound horrible, but it doesn't sound quite as good as the G90 Pro in my opinion. Next thing, G90 Pro FM radio, TCL FM radio. Next, the G90 Pro Bluetooth 4.1, the TCL Bluetooth 5.0. So you're getting a more up-to-date Bluetooth connectivity with the TCL. Next, the G90 Pro has Face Unlock. The TCL has Face Unlock. Which Face Unlock is better? I find the Face Unlock on the G90 Pro to be a little bit faster and a little bit smoother, and it also has haptic feedback with it. TCL is not bad, but it's not quite as fast or smooth as the G90 Pro in my opinion. Next, the G90 Pro has NFC. The TCL has NFC. Next, the G90 Pro has a rear fingerprint sensor. The TCL has also a rear fingerprint sensor. Which one is better? Well, they're both actually excellent. They're very good, and they're both very accurate. So I'll call it even with the fingerprint sensor, even though I just like the G90 Pros a little bit better. Next, the G90 Pro has screen recording. The TCL has screen recording. Next, the G90 Pro has 18 watt fast. Hold up. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. G90 Pro has fast 18 watt fast wired charging. TCL has no fast wired charging at all. Okay, now with both of these, even though this has 18 watt fast wired charging, it's still super slow. It really is. Let me change this now, saying I'm good. Supposed to be getting the software update. This is going to system update. Maybe it's getting Android 11 now, but I have to do that later. All right, so both of these have big batteries. Even though this has 18 watt fast charging, it really is not fast charging because it takes over 3 hours, if not longer, to fully charge this phone. And this one takes a few hours as well. So neither one of them has fast charging, so they're both really slow. I'm not impressed with the charging on either one of these devices. Not at all. All right. Sorry about that. Next thing, the G90 Pro, no one-handed mode. The TCL does have one-handed mode. And I'll show it to you really quick. Go right up into the settings. Scroll over. Boom. Okay? You're not getting that with the G90 if this matters to you. This may matter to some people. You can take it left or to the right. All right? You're not getting that on the G90. Now, one-handed mode matters to me, but the way they have it implemented on here is not that great, which I talked about when I did my review on this device. Next, G90 Pro, no always on display. TCL, no always on display. And I prefer phones with always on display. Next, the G90 Pro, no headphones in the box. Oh no, I'm sorry. I apologize. G90 Pro does give you headphones in the box. Way to go, Way to go, Blue. No headphones with the TCL. Okay? So if you want a pair of headphones, you're going to get that with the G90 Pro. Next thing, the G90 Pro has the teardrop notch, which I showed you, which is a selfie camera. The TCL has a punch hole selfie camera, so it's going to come down to which one you like best, the teardrop notch or the punch hole camera. Next, G90 Pro has 3 cameras on the rear. TCL has 4 cameras on the rear. However, based on my experience with both, and they both take decent pictures, the G90 Pro, however, takes much better photos and videos than the TCL in my experience, okay? Now, I know other people may disagree with that. Maybe you found it to be, different, but everybody sees things differently. I compared both photos to each other, and the G90 Pro clearly takes better overall photos and video than the TCL for me. All right? So that was my comparison between the G90 Pro and the TCL 10L. Hope you found it helpful and useful to you if you're in the market for a budget device. Both of these devices are really nice, but at the end of the day, now if I had to choose between these two devices, I'm taking the Blu G90 Pro. I just love the build quality. I love the design. I love the face unlock is nice. The fingerprint sensor is nice and smooth. The overall performance is excellent. The cameras are better. I mean, it's just something about this device. I just really like this device. If I had to choose between the two, I'm definitely taking this. Now, I don't like that teardrop notch. That's about the only thing. And I wish they had dual speakers. Just a speaker at the top, or maybe, speaker right at the top. Don't have to be Dolby Atmos or anything like that, but just so you can have a more immersive experience when you're, viewing media content would have been nice for both. Because the speaker just one, and it's, pretty mono. It's not all that great. Now, I know a lot of people is going to use headphones when they watch movies, but me, I'm different. I like to watch movies without headphones. Now, when I'm listening to music, I want headphones because I'm looking for certain type of sound. But, when I'm just watching movies, I prefer without headphones. But that was my comparison between the Blu G90 Pro and TCL 10L. Hope you found it helpful, useful to you. And I will check you guys out in the next one. Hope you guys out there staying safe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.